guys, this is Austin. Is this the future of game controllers? Valve usually does things differently, and the Steam controller is no exception. Pop open the box and you'll see the controller itself and a few accessories like a USB cable, the included wireless dongle, and AA batteries. The Steam controller has a very different layout than you're probably used to. We've got a single traditional stick and face buttons, but 2 trackpads up top. Everything about this controller takes a lot of getting used to. Even something as simple as having the face buttons on the bottom right feels totally backward. The single control stick works well enough. It has a grippy surface with a convex shape like the PS3. You'll see the traditional shoulder buttons and triggers on top, and a pair of built-in paddles on the back. This actually works really nicely, although you'll probably have to remap these manually, as most games assume you're using a 360 controller. The shape buries itself into your palms, which feels fine, but there's a fair bit of glossy plastic which gets coated in fingerprints almost immediately. The weirdest thing by far though are the trackpads. That name isn't a coincidence. It feels a lot like a laptop touchpad where you would normally find a thumbstick. The other side is a giant D-pad which works fine, although it's definitely not the most precise thing I've ever tried. On the complete other end of the spectrum, we've got the new Xbox One Elite controller. Open this up and you're immediately greeted by a hardshell carrying pouch. While this might be a little unnecessary for a normal controller, it comes in handy for the Elite as it's modular. The thumbsticks and D-pad are interchangeable and all of your options fit inside the case. One of the first things that jumped out to me is just how rock solid it feels. It has a satisfying heft and feels like it's up to some serious abuse. Flip the controller over and you'll find something else that makes this special: customizable paddles. These can be mapped to any of the normal buttons on the controller, and you can pull them off easily thanks to magnets. It's a really dope setup. You'll also find a pair of bump stops for the triggers. This allows you to shorten the amount of travel independently, which can be helpful for some types of games. For the thumbsticks you have 3 options: the standard 6 from the Xbox One controller, a convex stick, and the standard option that's much taller. Like the paddles, these are magnetic, which makes swapping them dead simple, and they still feel solid while gaming. You can mix and match these as much as you like, which could lead to some interesting combos depending on what games you play. The same goes for the D-pad. You can use the normal style or a fasted version, which feels a little mushy but makes a lot of sense for fighting games. It also has a switch to move between custom profiles, along with the same headphone and headset jacks from the latest Xbox One controller. Setting things up is simple. Just download the Xbox Accessories app and you can load pre-made configurations or make your own. You can really go in depth with this by remapping buttons and even adjusting the sensitivity of the triggers and sticks. It's not all great news though. The Elite controller still comes with AA batteries out of the box, and while it works wirelessly with the Xbox, you'll need to use the included cable or buy a wireless adapter to play on PC. The Steam controller is weird. Very weird. Not only does it have odd button placement, but the touchpads just feel backwards. The best way to use them is less like a laptop trackpad and more like a typical thumbstick, which in theory works, but in practice is incredibly hard to get used to. With enough practice, you could probably get good with the pads, and they make sense for some traditional PC games that use a mouse and keyboard, but for the most part, it really feels like Valve are trying to fix something that just isn't broken. The Xbox Elite, on the other hand, is the traditional controller taken to the extreme. As it's based on the Xbox One controller, it feels familiar, but they've tweaked the feel of the buttons and sticks, and it's a welcome change. The paddles can be helpful for when you want to keep both thumbs on the sticks, and the bump stops are nice for quick reactions, especially with shooting games. There's really not much to complain about, especially once you start customizing things. It's a rock solid controller. The Steam controller is a lot cheaper, and while it tries some new things, it just doesn't make much sense when you can spend $10 more to get a normal Xbox One controller. The Elite, on the other hand, is about as premium as it gets. Microsoft made what's one of the best controllers period, but it comes with a steep $150 price tag to match. So what do you guys think about these controllers? Let me know over on Snapchat, and I will catch you in the next one.